Welcome to the Best Damn Podcast. This is your host, Jill Lagan, CEO of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce. In each episode, we will highlight what makes Boulder City, home of the Hoover Dam, the ideal place to operate your small business, explore world-class tourism attractions, and discover why we are the perfect place to live and unwind. All right, I am so excited to introduce you to Tim Knifton. He is with RSVP Las Vegas, and this is a wonderful program that I'm hoping to really encourage more people to be a part of. So let's get right in there. Mr. Tim, will you tell us a little bit more about RSVP Las Vegas?
Yeah, so RSVP Las Vegas, we specialize in targeting the wealthiest 30% of homeowners with a luxury postcard pack that people love to get, they love to open, they love to use the coupons in it, and they just like spending money with good businesses that show they care about their clients.
I love that. Targeted is probably the key word here, right? So it is a little bit more direct. It's more specific. It's more thoughtful. It is not just random. There is a process to this, and that focus instead of the shotgun approach. I love that focused approach. And so I am really excited to be able to share this with the businesses here in Boulder City because it was not known to me until you and I met and we visited on this, and you brought in and showed me a sample packet. I was super impressed. The quality is phenomenal. It is something I want to save. The way that it's packaged is just very professional. It's almost like a little gift in the mail that you can't wait to open.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also like the idea that I know you're targeting that luxury market.
Yes.
But don't you find it fascinating that they love coupons?
Yes. Yeah, there's a funny story out of Phoenix. This guy lives in a $4 million house. And he always got the RSVP packet every quarter. And one quarter, one of the ice cream stores decided they weren't going to send out a coupon that month. And so he got the packet. He goes through the entire packet, doesn't see the ice cream coupon. So what does he do? He picks up the phone and calls RSVP Arizona and says, "Hey, I'm missing the ice cream packet. What happened?" Or "I want my $5 coupon." And it's like, you live at a $1 million house, but you want that $5 coupon. So yeah, it really does work amazing.
We love that. And I love that story because I think there are plenty of people that are trying to be wise about what their dollars are going towards, especially in today's market. And so what a phenomenal way for a targeted approach to get into that homeowner and put it into their hands. They're not scrolling through ads. They're not maybe seeing it on social media in their feed that day and missing it the next 10. I think that there's room in this advertising world to hit all of those, but this is just one of the pillars I think that we need in that approach to making sure that we're hitting all markets. And so grateful for this. I'm so glad that we met because I'm really excited about this program. So I will share that the Chamber will be working with you on advertising the wine walks, Best Damn Wine Walks. And so this will be our entrepreneurial approach to seeing how this works with that particular event, see exactly how the effectiveness goes so that we can then report on that, because our end goal is to put together our own Boulder City packet that will be mailed out to those homes in the Henderson and Vegas area, our target market.
Absolutely. I think it'll work really well for you. The wealthiest people are looking for something to do on the weekend. They're looking for something to do in the evening. And Boulder City is just a great place to come and enjoy the weather and enjoy all the restaurants and entertainment here. Boulder City does a great job at that.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I 100% agree, and we've got some phenomenal businesses. So I would see that, what was our goal? How many have to sign up for this concept?
So we're going to need 40 Boulder City businesses to come in for this mailing.
Very good. And within that mailing, we have the front and the back of a postcard. So the way that we designed it at your suggestion, the front is the catcher, right? It's got great pictures. It's pretty colors. It's not a whole lot of words so that you don't have to, your eyesight sees it, you zone in, you're like, yes, that's for me. Why do I want to know more about it? You flip it over and there's all the details.
Yes, absolutely. That is the perfect way to do a postcard. Eye catch in front, details on the back with a coupon.
And you know that works because it's a proven method that you have used over and over again. And from the packet samples that you've brought to me, it is obvious that the business owners are taking your advice because that was pretty much how they were all set up.
Yes, that is correct.
And then you also, because it's a clear cellophane wrapper that is on this postcard packet, you have the option of being on the top or on the bottom so that people can see that information as it's floating through the postal system, through the letter carriers, and then potentially through, if it's going to a business or a home that has multiple individuals, multiple eyes are on those two parts.
Absolutely. It's 100% branding for the front and the back. A fun fact about the Postal Service and our pack, we're considered what they call non-machinable, which means the postal workers have to actually put it on the top of the mail. All the machinable stuff goes first because, the machines do that work.
Right.
But because we're considered non-machinable, we're a little thicker than what they want. They always put us on the top of the mail. So 100% of the people have to see it because that's the very top of the mail. And it's really heavy compared to everything else in the mailbox. So when I get my mail and my postcard pack come, a lot of times it'll fall on the ground because it slips out. I have to pick it up physically because it's the biggest, heaviest piece of mail in the mail that day.
I can absolutely see that. And okay, so you opened up an interesting door. So mail, it has got to be expensive for you to put those all together. Obviously, you've got an automated system. You've been doing this for many years, but so it would be probably just as expensive for me to put out all those postcards. But being a part of this system, I can imagine it's less expensive. It's more economical.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were to mail your own postcard, you're going to pay at least 20 times more between printing and postage. But That's why we recommend doing shared mail first, is because it is cost effective. You're going to get a much higher return on investment. We've had a remodeler. He got a couple leads, but he closed 100x return on investment. He had a sale within 30 days of over $582,000.
Whoa.
From just one mailing. Now, again, I can't promise that to everybody.
No,
Most people
no.
won't see those results. But again, it's a good cost-efficient way to get your message out to the people with disposable income in the Las Vegas Valley area.
I love that. And so events would be the perfect, I see events, businesses that maybe have a special going on, or maybe some of the restaurants that do entertainment. I can really see that those being very beneficial and should be a part of this. I can also imagine many of our restaurants already do coupon type things, whether it's a paper coupon or not, but they absolutely should be a part of this. This is such a great co-op type concept. Anyway, yep. I'm loving it. I'm super excited. I love this is not new, but it's retro. Sometimes things always come back around, and this is just a phenomenal opportunity and done in a very professional way. So I'm very grateful for this experience that we have with you. So let's get to know you a little bit better. And actually, let's know the company a little bit better. So how many employees do you have?
It's myself here in Las Vegas. I do have a mailing list team, design team, and a printing team. Those are all support that comes from our franchisor who's headquartered in Detroit. But we have a great team. Most of the people that are on the team have been doing this for 20 or 30 years. So they've probably done it many times before. And we're really quick and good, and they know what works and they know what doesn't, and they're able to provide that feedback to the people coming into the postcard pack.
So my experience as we were putting our postcard together, we sent the information in, and whoever on your team sent back that, hey, we'd like to have this a little bit different size, or could you send this different format? And they were super, super helpful and very friendly, very customer service related. And so we were glad to get that all put together, and it was a very smooth process.
Yeah, and you guys did a phenomenal job. I think it'll perform amazing and bring a lot of people out here for the wine walk here in October.
We're hoping. I would love to have a couple people either bring the postcard or show it to me or say something about having seen it, because of course that's how we find out. And so then also on that card, for us to be able to see the return on the results on the investment, we also added the QR code so we could see who was going to that site. So there were a couple things that we did that made it a little more magical, so we get people and we can actually be able to create that testimonial to our local Boulder City businesses so we can be a part of this co-op concept. Okay, so I would imagine that what is the system to get the addresses so that we know that it's an effective targeted opportunity? Is it Where do you come up with those addresses? You don't just walk around and go, oh, this is a big house. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of the public data, appraisals, and real estate data is available to us. We have a proprietary way of verifying it's owner-occupied and not a rental or not an Airbnb. A lot of our advertisers are in home improvement and home services, and they need to mail to homeowners because if someone's a renter in the house, they're not making the decision to redo the pool. They're not making the decision to fix the fence. They're not making those decisions to replace the tile in the house. We have a proprietary system of verifying it's owner-occupied, and we have
awesome.
A great mailing list team that verifies the value of the houses to make sure that we're targeting people that will spend money. I think there was a recent news article that stated the wealthiest 10% is currently responsible for 50% of all consumer spending.
Whoa.
So if you're not in front of that 10%, you're missing out on half of consumer spending right now. So it's really important for businesses to target the people spending money in this economy.
No, you're absolutely right. Let's talking data. So a fact that you added to the questionnaire, I was so impressed with this that I've shared it with my board in our board meeting this morning. According to this information, Gen Z is embracing direct mail. 91% of Gen Z consumers love the tangibility of a direct mail piece. Do you have a little bit more you can share about that from wherever that stat came from?
Yeah, so that actually came from the Postal Service.
Oh, wow.
So they were doing a study, and obviously they're sharing it with the direct mail advertisers like us. And I think it's important now. People are feeling overwhelmed. People are saying, hey, I need to take a break from my phone. So when someone gets something physical in the mail, they feel a little bit more valued. For me as a kid, I loved the mail because my grandma would mail me a real $10 bill for my birthday every year.
Right.
So I was checking the mail for a month straight for my mom, just waiting on that birthday card with the $10 to go spend on ice cream and G.I. Joes. So
Awesome.
People still have those memories. Gen Z has grown up with the cell phone and has grown up with social media. And a lot of them just feel overwhelmed with the bombardment of advertising, especially here in the Las Vegas Valley. You drive down the Las Vegas Strip, you're going to see 10,000 ads in a couple hours.
Yeah, overstimulated.
It's just overwhelming. So people need a way of disconnecting and putting down their phone and then feeling something tangible makes them feel valued. It requires less brain power. It's 20% less brain power to look at a postcard versus look at an ad on a phone.
I love that.
So it's just easier for the consumer to consume. And it's also, according to the Postal Service, the favorite way for a consumer to receive an ad in the mail is a brightly colored postcard.
I do love that because I do get the paper ad stuff and I'm like, it just fills up my mailbox. That tends to make it to the recycle bin. The postcard packet in that cellophane, I don't know. There's just something about, I got to know what's in there. If it's all together like that, I get FOMO. I don't want to miss out. So I do appreciate that. So thank you so much for that information. I think that's great. In your business, first of all, how long have you been doing RSVP?
I bought the franchise here in Vegas 2.5 years ago.
Awesome. So I would imagine you've probably had an aha moment since you've been with RSVP.
Yeah. So probably for me is that aha moment was just how well it worked. They give you the franchise training. Hey, this works really well. People are making a lot of money on postcards. I personally used a postcard even before I bought the franchise for an IT company that I used to run. And I was amazed when I got results from it because I'm like, everybody's online now.
Yeah.
No one's checking the mail anymore. But it's just amazing. We'll work with a lot of companies and they say they're doing all sorts of marketing and they're just not getting the results they're looking. And then all of a sudden I have one of my clients saying, hey, I made $400,000 off your postcards this year.
Wow.
What more postcards can I do now? Because this is working.
Yeah, I love that because there are it's not just a one and done kind of thing. You choose different zip codes. If I remember correctly from the paperwork that you provided me, there was like a map and you chose zones, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We target the wealthiest areas of Las Vegas. And Vegas, it's pretty much follows the 215. So if you go from Aliante west to Sky Canyon, go 215 all the way south to Mountain's Edge, and then you go east all the way to Henderson along the 215.
Got it.
Those are the areas where the high-end developers, gated communities with golf courses, those are going to be the wealthier homeowners in Las Vegas.
And do you mail out to Boulder City at this point?
We have not done a mailer to
Okay.
Boulder City yet.
Okay.
Obviously, the post office delivers here, and we can mail anywhere with an address. But for the most part, a lot of people are wanting to target Henderson or McDonald's Ranch or Sun City Anthem.
Yeah, that would absolutely be Boulder City's focus, is to get that repeat customer coming from the Vegas Valley, Henderson area. So I can understand our issue with going that way. I just wondered if there were anybody in Henderson that were like, oh, those Boulder City people, we need them. And they were wanting to target us.
Yeah, I have friends that live here in Boulder City, and they all drive to Vegas every day for work.
Right.
So there's a lot of people that could definitely benefit from
Yeah.
advertising to Boulder City when they come into town for work that day or come to enjoy some of the entertainment around town.
Yeah.
They could definitely target Boulder City and get quite good results.
I'm focused on getting those people to come to us. So we'll change that wording to just, that's our focus for today. Have you had, when you're doing direct mailing, I think that I was most educated on the idea of a shared mail piece versus a single postcard, right? Because you have run many studies, you know that shared combined packet is going to be far more valuable than an individual postcard that might get missed and shuffled in with some of those pages that people just tend to toss in the recycling.
Yes, definitely. People love to go out and eat. People love coupons for restaurants. People love entertainment like the wine walk. So having all those together increases the value of being an HVAC company or a plumber or a tile company in the pack, because you couldn't send out an ad with a $5 coupon for food if you're a tile company. But because you're in a pack with them, you're still going to get looked at. And they're still going to spend in time on the entire pack. We don't put restaurants all together in a pack. We
Spread them out. I did note that, yeah. Obviously, there's strategy in that.
Yeah, so the person has to go through the entire postcard pack to get all the restaurant coupons, which a lot of people are doing.
And it doesn't take them a long time. We're not talking a huge amount of invested time. And like you said, it's so easy to process because you're seeing the pictures, you know what you are interested in. And you are right. It was the food opportunities were spread out with home improvement type opportunities, as well as the Las Vegas Chamber and the Henderson Chamber both had their cards in there too. And so I can imagine that for some that get it on a regular basis, like the story you shared, they're looking for some of those regulars, but they're also probably, as they're going through those regulars, they're also zoning in on who's new in this packet.
Yeah, absolutely. We have done quite a few studies on what people are looking for in the pack, and the number one request is always more restaurants because people just love those coupons. They love trying out new restaurants. They love trying out the new hot restaurant in town, and they want a coupon to do it.
Yeah.
40% of wealthy, affluent consumers won't try out a new restaurant without a coupon nowadays.
Isn't
and it
that
keeps going up every year.
That's a crazy number to me. I had never thought about that, but it makes so much sense. And the fact that we simplified it, we're going back to the basics, right? We simplified it. You don't have to worry about, oh man, where did I save that on my phone? Was it a screenshot? Was it a social media? They're going to have a physical paper coupon that they just have to throw in their glove compartment, have it in there, and then whenever they pop in, they can utilize the services. That is great. And again, back to the whole idea that it's trackable. So now that business owner knows exactly where the best investment is for them to be marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. We just had a restaurant they shared with us. They got 150 new dinner parties in.
Wow.
Off a single mailing in less than 60 days.
Oh my gosh.
So we've had other restaurants they shared with us. They were doing over 100,000 over the summer.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, our restaurants really could have used that this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be fabulous. I cannot wait to get to hear results and hear people talk about that. That's going to be great. What was your first job? What created Mr. Tim?
So my first job was throwing newspapers out for one of my neighbors. I lived in a rural community in California, and I'd walk over to my neighbor's house on Thursday mornings at 4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
And we'd roll the newspapers up. I'd hop in his car and we'd drive around the rural community and deliver a newspaper to everybody on the newspaper route. You couldn't bike the route because it was miles and miles.
Oh.
So we'd drive around the rural communities and deliver newspapers. So I think I made $40 a day.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. But for a young person, that was probably great. I can imagine that probably opened up your eyes to distributing information and getting that into the hands of people who will then either use it to go to a business, use it to learn more about what's happening in the world. There's just still something about that educational process and distributing that information.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. What is something, now this one was crazy to me, but what is something that many people don't know about you, Tim?
Oh.
So I know that you spent some time in Africa.
Oh, I was in the Marine Corps at a high school. We were on a float and they had beer. And so I actually had my first beer, which was a Corona. They're not paying me to say that, though. But it was a Corona in Djibouti, Africa.
Oh, my goodness. And so thank you for your service, by the way. So as a Marine, you were on a float. They had a parade in Djibouti that you were able to be a part of?
No, it was a Marine Expeditionary Unit.
Oh.
So we just call them floats, sorry.
Okay, thank you. So here
military slang.
Yeah, obviously not served in the military. And so I'm thinking of like our 4th of July or a Christmas parade and you're on like some float throwing candy at kids.
That would be great.
That's awesome. Thank you you learn something new every dang day. I love that. One of my other favorite questions is, what book are you reading right now?
I'm reading The Success Principles by Jack Canfield.
Ooh, yeah.
I love that book. My sales coach got me into it. He says it's your daily sales vitamin. It's so positive. It helps you reach your goals. And it's really changed my life since I started reading it.
I love that. And it is a book I have read before as well. And I found there was also something on YouTube that Canfield had put out that we fell into. So we have a business book club, and this is going to be one that I suggest we read as a group because I had forgotten about it, but excellent, especially for business owners that really do want to look at improving leadership and improving their ability to motivate customers and live in that positivity. So yeah, you're right. His principles are great guiding tools.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad to learn that about you. I would imagine you probably have great stories about your parents, but what's something that they have taught you that you still use today?
Yeah, my parents taught me hard work. My dad was a civil engineer in California, and he would wake up way before I did every morning, go work 10 hours a day, and then come home late in the evening and then still do an oil change.
Yeah.
Every day he just loved to work on the house or work on the cars or go to work and help with the civil engineering at the power plant there.
Well, that is a pretty special and very necessary job. Very glad that he had such an expertise, but that he taught you that the value of hard work and the value of putting in a good day's worth of work so that it's not just go and do your 9-to-5 job and then it's all over. I would imagine you guys spent a lot of family time. Did he take you out there and teach you how to change oil?
He did not. I mostly dug holes for him. He had quite a few fruit trees and
there you go.
plants. So it was digging holes, plant new fruit trees, which I ate most of the fruit. So I
There you
definitely
go.
needed to do that.
So you learned to live off the land.
Yes, yes.
And in a rural community, I would imagine you had space to do that. So it was probably a great way to grow up.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
we
can
always
imagine.
had fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. It was great.
And did you have a big family?
A bigger family. It was 4 kids. I'm the youngest. My brother still lives down in the LA area, and my 2 sisters live in Paso Robles, where I grew up.
Oh, very good.
Countryside there.
I had an aunt, Helen Oxborough, that at one time was in Paso Robles government. She was served as a city councilwoman. Anyway, such a beautiful area, right?
Yes.
So I'm imagining you had a wonderful childhood.
Yes, it was great.
That is great. We're glad that you're in the Vegas area now and that we have brought this great information to our Boulder City businesses because I really do believe it's going to be successful. I'm glad to have learned about this program. Did you have anything else that specific to the RSV program that you want to share?
I'd really just love to share a couple success stories
Yes.
that my clients have shared with me fairly early within the first couple months of working with RSVP Las Vegas here. I met with a home improvement company, and they shared they'd been using somebody to do some direct mail, but it just wasn't getting the results they were looking for. They had one of their technicians live in an apartment in the neighborhood they were mailing to, and then they also had a technician living in a very nice house that they wanted to target. But for some reason, whoever they had used prior to us was mailing to the apartment, but not the nice homes.
Oh, interesting.
We said, hey, we can fix that. We have a way of verifying home ownership and avoiding places you don't want to mail to. They can't use your service. So within 6 months, they made over $2.5 million off the postcards.
Holy guacamole.
Direct mail definitely works really well, especially in Vegas. I think I'm actually very fortunate with that. It seems to work better here. I have discussions with other franchises around the United States, and I think we perform better here in Vegas than in most other markets.
Oh, what a great thing to know.
And then the other thing direct mail can do is it just brings in repeat quality leads, makes your phone ring. I was talking with a new client. They'd just mailed with us one time. They were just starting their business within the last 6 months. And they shared with me, hey, the summer was really slow. They spent more money than they planned on. They weren't sure if they were going to be able to keep doing it. And I'm like, don't worry. The postcard packs can actually hit in a couple days. So your phones are going to start ringing again. You're going to get jobs. Don't worry. You're not going out of business. And sure enough, that's what happens. Within about a week, not only did they have before the mailer went out, they had no jobs booked. Within a week of the mailer going out, they were booked out a whole month.
Oh my gosh.
So they are not going out of business. It's going to keep them in business, keep their employees and getting paid. And hopefully it's going to change their lives so that they become very successful business owners that can keep growing and giving back to the community.
I don't think people realize how important getting the word out is. Not many business owners even put into their business plan some kind of marketing budget. They're not thinking that way. They just say, I'm going to open the doors and people will just come. Or I'll open my doors and it will all just be word of mouth on social media, which is phenomenal. And we need that. But that's just one approach. You need to have other arrows in your quiver because there's got to be a much more broad approach. You can't just do a one and done.
Absolutely. If you only have one source of leads and that dries up, a lot of people do go out of business at that point. And if you don't learn how to advertise in today's competitive business economy, when things go bad, you don't know what to do. So I think, at least for me, and that's why I'm partly passionate about doing direct mail, when I ran my prior company, I struggled with finding advertising and marketing that work, like all business owners.
Right.
And it wasn't until the tail end when I actually figured out how advertising and marketing works so well, I was able to sell my previous company and start this. But once it became my focus on figuring out how to generate quality leads on a repeatable basis, my company was sellable and it was almost instantly overnight successful. Again, it took me 15 years to get there. But once I had that system down, I didn't have to worry about, am I going to have a new client tomorrow? Am I going to be able to pay that payroll bill? It just is a big weight off your shoulders because you know where your next call or next lead's going to come from. So I always recommend businesses have at least 5 ways of generating leads. Have the social media, have the direct mail, have the radio, have the TV, have the billboard, but make sure you have multiple things working together to bring you repeatable quality leads so you don't have to worry about when the economy takes a downturn, what are you going to do?
I love that. And I love the inspiration that you can be with the information that you've shared in your stories. That is incredible. And you're right. Not everyone's going to have that kind of success, and there's no guarantee here. But I can only see positivity when they take this first approach and give it a whirl. I don't know how many of our current listeners or businesses here in Boulder City have done something with direct mail in the past, but I'm really looking forward to it and can't wait to share our results and really excited. Thank you so much for being an investor in the Boulder City Chamber and opening up the opportunities for our local businesses.
Thank you, Jill. It's been a pleasure being with you on the podcast.
Thank you. And so how do people find you, Tim?
Yeah, so you can go to RSVP Las Vegas.com, or I'll give out my cell phone number. It's 725-270-6239. Feel free to call or text with any questions. Happy to be a free resource on mailing demographics in the Las Vegas Valley.
Thank you very much. And we'll also make sure that all of that is included in the show notes. And this has been a pleasure. I'm really looking forward to doing a follow-up with you.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
This episode of the Best Damn Podcast has been a production of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce. Please check out all the links and social media handles on our website as well at bouldercitychamber.com. You can find the Best Damn Podcast on all your favorite podcast directories. Like us and share on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, discover, explore, and unwind in Boulder City.